Long, long ago. Before the first drum was carved. Before the first fire crackled in a cooking pot. There lived a village wrapped in cold. A village where breath froze on lips. And the sun was nothing but a cold smile in the sky. They called it Nkara, the village of smoke. Because every mouth told stories to stay warm. For they had no fire. The elders say the sky spirits once gifted fire to the earth. But when humans used it for war and greed, the spirits grew angry and snatched fire back into the heavens, locking it in a glowing golden god, far beyond the reach of birds or clouds. And so, in Nkara, they boiled nothing, they roasted nothing. And every child grew up wrapped in bark and frost. Among them was a girl named Azima. Small in body, but full of questions. One day, she asked her grandmother, "Why must we suffer? Why can't we take back the fire?" The old woman chuckled. Because fire is guarded by the sky spirits. And they burn those who dare to climb. But Azima's heart did not fear fire, it hungered for it. So one moonless night, Azima packed 3 things. A clay pot, a rope made from elephant grass, and a charm woven from her grandmother's silver hair. She whispered, "I will climb beyond the birds, past the clouds. I will bring fire home." She walked for 7 days and 7 nights, crossed whispering forests and silent rivers, until she reached the foot of Mount Koro, the tallest peak in all the lands, the one said to scrape the belly of the sky. And there, she began to climb. At the first cloud, she met the wind spirit, a swelling figure with no face, who hissed, "You dare climb to the heavens? Turn back, child." Azima stood firm. "I seek fire for my people. I will not turn back." The wind howled and tried to toss her away. But she tied herself with her rope of elephant grass and pressed on. At the second cloud, she met the rain spirit, who wept floods from her eyes and said, "Your fire will turn to steam in my tears. Leave now." But Azima held her clay pot close and replied, "Even if it burns for a moment, it is worth the warmth." The rain poured, but her pot did not break. Finally, at the golden edge of the sky, she faced the fire spirit, a giant of flame who bellowed, "No human shall steal from the sky again." Azima trembled but did not flee. She held out her charm, the one of her grandmother's hair, and whispered an old song, a lullaby the sky spirits once gave to earth. The fire spirit paused. Its flame flickered. It had not heard that song in centuries. The spirit knelt and asked, "Why risk death for this fire?" Azima answered, "Because my people freeze while you burn. Let one spark return to us, not for war, but for warmth, for food, for life." The fire spirit reached into its chest and dropped a single ember into Azima's clay pot. "Take it. But beware. Fire must be fed with care." Azima descended the mountain. But the journey burned her feet, cracked her lips, and by the time she returned to Nkara, she could no longer speak. The village saw the smoke from her pot, saw the glow in her eyes. They gathered around as she placed the ember into dry wood. And for the first time in generations, fire danced again. The villagers sang. They laughed. They cooked. They warmed their babies. They remembered what life felt like. Azima watched it all with quiet joy. And then, she closed her eyes and turned to ash. For the flame had taken from her all it needed. And so they say, whenever fire crackles kindly in a heart, or warms a pot of soup, or lights a lantern in the dark, Azima is there. The girl who climbed the sky, who sang to the spirits, and stole fire not for herself, but for everyone.